March Money Madness. He's no stranger to the show, and here at KDK, financial planner Rob Wilson here for his regular Money Monday segment. And, you know, in addition to basketball, and we're talking about that, you've been talking quite a bit about March Money Madness.
I have, yes. I have a contest where I said, hey, let me take advantage of the NCAA tournament and its popularity. So I created this contest using stocks instead of 64 basketball teams. So I picked them, I seeded 64 stocks, and so they've been duking it out head-to-head over the last couple of weeks. And so people can sign up and just use this opportunity to learn a little bit more about this investing thing. So it's been pretty fun so far. One of my favorite companies, Apple, everybody has an iPod, iPhone. They got knocked out in the first round by Microsoft. So it's been pretty fun. We've been having a good time with it.
Yeah, it's great to take something like that and put it in a context that we're all familiar with, because I don't know a whole lot about the stock market. I know about brackets. So
I feel like if you can package something with something that's fun and people that are familiar with, then they can really get something about it. I mean, face it, there's only so much that I can say, hey, and invest in your IRA and save money and do these things. That gets boring after a while, so I try to find a way to spice it up a little bit.
All right, well, March, we associate that with basketball, but it's also National Women's History Month. We're here today to talk about women and money and how that comes together and how women can get a better grasp on how to manage their finances.
Right. You know, there's no one-size-fits-all, method to retirement planning or building wealth for anyone, but I think the differences are especially applicable when you talk about the differences between men and women. So unfortunately, I think women need to start a lot earlier and be a lot more careful with their money because of the, numerous unique challenges that they face.
Yeah, a couple of them are, first of all, there's been a pay disparity, and you've heard about that for years. What's it stand at right now?
Yeah, forever. I mean, right now, women usually make about 80 cents on the dollar of what men make. So, I mean, that's been slowly improving over the last couple of years, but, I mean, it's still out there. And I think a big part of that is because women are disproportionately associated with so-called pink-collar jobs, so teaching and nursing, which are extremely important jobs,
Sure,
but tend to be a little, lower paying jobs. Also, women tend to live a lot longer than we do, on average 7 years, and so you've got to plan for that. And also the fact that 75% of women are eventually going to end up, living as a widow. And so you've got to plan not only to live longer, but to live by yourself and have adequate resources to take care of that.
And there's also the family aspect because, more often than not, you hear about women taking time off from their jobs to raise a family.
Yeah, women are often the caretakers in the family, and because of that, they tend to spend an average of 11 years out of the workforce. So when you think about that, if you're out of the workforce, there's no salary, and there's also no 401k contribution, health care, all of those sorts of things. So that's a long time to be out of the workforce. And let's not forget that 50% of all marriages end in divorce, and so that's something, else to throw in there that you're going to have to plan for as well.
But, the times obviously are changing, and women seem to be getting in a better financial position a lot of the time. I mean, in terms of them making more, women are making more these days.
They are. They say if you want something done right, then you should give it to a woman. So women actually fared better during this recession. The unemployment rate for men was 10.3%. And for women, 7.8%. And I think it's because those male-dominated industries such as manufacturing and construction had a lot of problems during the recession, and education and healthcare did well. So they fared much better. Right now, 22% of wives make as much or more than their husbands. And so to put that in some perspective, that number was 4% in 1970. So huge strides there. Women are now being helped by the Fair Pay Act of 2009. It was actually the first act that President Obama signed when he entered in the office. We've got 15 female CEOs of Fortune 500 companies now, and that is an all-time high. And women-owned businesses right now are really exploding across the map. And so times are definitely changing for women in their finances.
If people are watching, if women are watching, they're thinking, okay, how do I position myself better? What can I do to get in a better position? What are some of the things that they can do?
I do have a couple of action items. The first thing I think they should do is really get involved with the finances. A lot of women tend to say, I'll just let my husband handle that. But I think women need to get involved. Know the accountant, know the financial advisor, know the attorney, because if you get divorced or something like that, or your husband passes away, you're going to need to know those folks. And also pursue more high-paying jobs. These jobs aren't just for good old boys anymore. And so we like to see women pursue science and engineering and business you got to plan your career, and this may involve talking to your spouse, okay, and saying, hey, I know we want to have a family, but you may need to take on some of this burden as well, because I don't want to spend that much time out of the workforce. And also think about life insurance and long-term care, so if she does find herself alone, she'll be adequately protected.
All right, we only have a few minutes to talk about this, but obviously there's a lot of information out there, and you're doing something that can help get the information out.
I am. I do have a seminar that's going on this week, Wednesday, March 31st, 6:30 p.m. at Roland's Seafood Grill. We're affectionately calling this Girls Just Want to Have Funds, and so I may have a little Cyndi Lauper playing in the background when we do this. But
only if you sing it.
Right. No, I can't do that. I'm not a karaoke type of guy. But Roland's in the Strip District. It is free, and this is not just an excuse for me to get a bunch of women in the room by myself. Men are actually invited as well, so we'll have a good time.
And what are you going to do there?
Well, we're going to talk about all these issues. We'll have a very lively discussion about women and their money and things that they can do to improve their situation.
All right, Rob Wilson, pleasure to have you here as always.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for stopping by. Rob's here for his regular Money Monday segments here on Pittsburgh Today Live. If you'd like to contact him, look for his link at kdka.com/PTL, and you can learn more about money and women at Rob's free seminar, Girls Just Want to Have Funds, this Wednesday at 6:30. That's at Roland's Seafood Grill on Penn Avenue in the Strip. As Rob said, men, you are certainly welcome too. All right.